Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. And before you know it, the regular season will be upon us, and we will be cashing some tickets. But there's still preseason football to talk about, and it hasn't quite begun yet. Probably just days away from actually recording this is when we're going to actually have some preseason football. Does it matter? Sort of, kind of. Only to the players where it really matters to. But Terrell, Furman Jr. and I are going to try to help you understand a little bit more about the theory behind preseason NFL betting, some ways to make some money, and some approaches you can take. Before we get going today, don't forget to subscribe to the Betting Pros channel. Drop your comments below. We love hearing from all of you. And we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. We can do it with your help. So let's get on that right now. Hit that subscribe button. Terrell, so let's talk in the opening here a little bit about preseason, laying out the structure here a little bit in terms of how we're approaching it, historical trends. I know there's some things that we've, taken for granted over the years, like the Baltimore Ravens, never dropping any preseason games. Do home advantages exist against the spread, situations like that? So when you're looking at historical data and trying to get kind of an overall picture and some trends, what stands out to you the most in terms of the meta when it comes to preseason NFL betting?
Well, it's really two that I'm really locked in on. I'm constantly looking, like trying to figure out, hey, is unders our thing? First half unders? Is it overs? I'm looking for all this stuff. The first thing is the coaches' trends are just money, man. Like, come on, Jar Harbaugh went through what was it, a 4-year stretch not losing a
Crazy.
preseason game? Like, that is ridiculous, and that's coaching. That's saying, hey, we're taking this serious. We're going out here trying to win the game. It doesn't matter if it's preseason. And it also coincides with the fact that John Harbaugh teams typically have fast starts in the regular season. Like, that's just how he coaches up his team. So John Harbaugh for sure is one. He's at some 75% in the preseason now. You got Mike Tomlin. That's my guy. I'm going to tell you about Mike T every single show, Joe. Every
I
show.
love Mike
It
Tomlin.
don't
I just
matter.
think that the what they got going there is just in a bad direction. Hey, look, man, I love Bill Belichick. I said the same thing when Belichick was at the end of his days. Sometimes that stuff happens, but to your point,
Nah,
I don't think
I'm
it's even
loyal.
longer than you realize.
757.
24 game win streak that existed there for the Ravens. That's pretty amazing. 24 games. I mean, that's absurd. But you're also hearing some different trends too, because you're hearing like Zach Taylor talking about, hey, we're going to play Joe Burrow more in preseason this year because we felt like we get off to slow starts the last couple of years and we're trying to avoid that. I think those little nuggets matter too when you hear coaches talk about those sort of things, especially with the starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe it's something where you're like, okay, maybe they can get out to a hot start first half in the preseason. Like, you're going to get a couple of good drives. They want to showcase the offense. They probably want to get a lot of things going. I think it was last year that Aaron Rodgers played the preseason the first time in his career. Like, I mean, it didn't work out for him. So hopefully Joe Burrow doesn't get anything like that. But yeah, I'm really deep into the coaches. Mike Tomlin at some 60% in the preseason, and then also fading those coaches. Like, Kevin McConnell's like 2-6 in the preseason or something like that. He's near 25%. Dan Quinn in multiple different locations hasn't been good in the preseason. So that shows me that Dan Quinn's teams just aren't taking this serious. So he's a coach that I look to fade as well. And then another trend that I'm looking into, Joe, that I really like, and it worked for me last year, and I think the year before that too, is the joint practices. And those teams that have joint practices that week
Right.
and then play the preseason game, that game typically starts to go under because they're putting all the effort and all the good football and all the reps and all the physicality in the practices. They're saying that those practices are way harder than the actual preseason game.
Hmm.
And things are actually, the offense isn't going. People might be beat up, might be slowed down, taking slightly moving slower. And so unders in those joint practices where you played the joint practice and then you had the game and taking the under there, that actually has been pretty good.
What about home versus road and travel scenarios too? Is there anything we can glean from that when we're talking about trying to find an edge when it comes to the preseason games?
I haven't really seen it for me. I haven't really got behind, hey, this team has really been really good at home, or this one's been really good on the road per se. I think it's just more of, hey, where has this team been practicing? Where have they been located at? Where is this? Because the Cowboys, they're all the way out in California. Then you got to go to Dallas, play a game. So are you factoring in that travel and all of that? But for the most part, the home road thing really doesn't exist for me.
All right, let's switch gears here and talk a little about quarterbacks. Before we do, quick reminder about Sharp AI, because that is what we're talking about here on it. If you want to get an edge, this is the way to do it. Your personal sports betting assistant. It delivers real-time data advice to help you bet smarter, not harder. That's what you want to do. Sharp helps you find the top props, game projections, and betting insights. So try it now for free. That's right. I said it for free at bettingpros.com/sharp. That's the place to find Sharp AI and bring your wagering to the next level. Terrell, let's talk about the quarterbacks here for a second, because there are instances, especially even we can look back to last year, right? You saw JJ McCarthy after Sam Darnold kind of, came out of the game. JJ McCarthy coming in looking great, right? Unfortunately, before the knee injury happened.
Mm-hmm.
When we're looking here and the guys that are getting limited reps at QB, but we either have young quarterbacks behind them or proven veterans who are trying to get reps, is that a way to get an edge in the preseason too? Because, especially situations we have like, for instance, it's very competitive in Cleveland right now, right? Is that a situation where you are running to or running away from because of the quarterback play?
No, I actually love a great quarterback competition. I love to see a quarterback room where you don't know who the second guy is. Everybody may know who the first guy is. We're recording this right before the Hall of Fame game, and Jared Goff is QB1. There's no question, no doubt about that. But who's QB2 over there? Is it going to be Hendon Hooker? Is it going to be Kyle Allen? Like, who's going to be the guy that's going to come up and be that second quarterback? And so, it's competitions like that all over. I mean, the Saints just got to figure out who their guy is in general. So the Saints are taking this very, very serious. So I may be looking into Kellen Moore's team and seeing what they're doing in this preseason, because they really, really got to figure it out. So they're going to be giving their main quarterbacks a lot of the reps. But I love to see a good quarterback competition, not at just the QB1 spot, but definitely that QB2 spot, and who's going to definitely lock in their roster spot every single week as I'm dressing out.
So when you see those situations, right, where there's either quarterback depth or quarterback competition, does that portend a little bit more potentially to you wanting to go for the overs, because you're talking about quarterbacks that really want to push the football, show off what they can do in the offense? Because to me, it feels like that would be a potential scenario. Whereas some of these other ones where it's just the regular number two guy that kind of take for
Mm-hmm.
granted, we're just keeping him healthy, we're just handing the football off, trying not to get hurt here because we don't want to screw up the depth chart. But when it comes to battles, that would mean, to me at least, that you would be trying to, again, put some scores on the board, trying to impress the coaching staff and the general manager here to make sure that you have a spot on this roster. So when you have those scenarios, would you be pushing towards the actual overs as opposed to the unders?
I actually think it's a two-way street, because it depends on who is the personnel. If you're sitting here and you're looking, who was it? I think it was the Carolina Panthers that had a quarterback battle going on, who was behind Bryce Young, and I think who was it? Andy Dalton. And it was like, what was my guy's name? Plummer over from Louisville, or he was from Louisville, Kentucky, something like that. And he just wasn't any good. He just wasn't good. He was turning the football over all the time. And so, like, you have stuff like that where you just don't have a good quarterback room. New York Giants for sure ain't have no good quarterback room. So yes, there was a battle, and they were going on and seeing, hey, who's going to be the number two? Is it going to be Tommy DeVito? Is it going to be Drew Lock? Is it going to be this, or is it going to be that? And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible, and it doesn't look good. So I think it's really just the personnel, because you have teams who have had great QB rooms, like the Ravens, who had Tyler Huntley at the number two spot. They felt good about that, and then they were going out and rolling out different guys. At one point, it was like Trace McSorley that was getting some good burn for them in the preseason, because they just kept a good QB room. So I think it depends on personnel and staff, and honestly, the team.
Yeah, I think it was Jack Plummer. Is that who you're looking for?
Jack Plummer. Jack
Yeah.
Plummer.
Well, look,
Mm-hmm.
good word of advice here on the show. Probably don't invest too much in Jack Plummer. Just saying.
Yeah.
Probably not. Invest in a good plumber. Yeah, because it's important in your house. All right, let's talk about sides and about the public here a little bit too, and the potential for underdogs, because there are some teams, like you said, that are bigger time teams, like the Washington Commanders have expectations, some other squads too, that are less apt to push their players, or less apt to really take these games seriously. But you have some of these new coaches, upstart situations here where they are trying to prove themselves right away. Are those opportunities there where you would say maybe you are fading the public because, like, the public's on the Commanders, but you see a team like, let's say, the Carolina Panthers, who really pressed forward last year towards the end of the year? those scenarios to me seem like there's potential. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think so too. Because for me, and something that is so volatile as the preseason, I think it's really, really hard for me to believe that the books know what's going to happen. And then the public also knows what's going to happen. Because when the books set a line that I'm already like, okay, how are you even setting this line? And then the public jumps all on one side. I'm like, wait, how do you know that's 100% going to be it? It's preseason. Now, I mean, of course, the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, you just got to bet that. Like, you just know that's going to happen. But
Mhm.
it's like some of the other games that I'm just like, wait, how did everybody get to this one consensus? And that's one thing that I like to do. I'll definitely go for reverse line movement because in the preseason, there has been a trend of if the line moves a point in the direction one way or another, that side has actually been the way to go. So if the public is jumping on one side and it's moving a point direction in the other side, and there's already a trend of if it moves, the line moves a certain way, that's pretty much how it ends up. I'm like, oh, wait, this becomes even more and more interesting. And now I'm looking into that possibility. Okay, if this team is going to win, is what's going to need to happen for them to win? What kind of player is going to be able to go off? Looking through the team scouting reports and looking through the beat reporters. The beat reporters and all social media will tell you, hey, these players are the ones that you're not looking at that are catching a lot of buzz, and they're probably going to be playing in the third and fourth quarter of these games.
Do you think those swings are too dramatic sometimes? Like when you get a late scratch in a game, or they say so and so is going to start today, but unfortunately now it's actually not going to be the case because he's dealing with a hamstring issue or something like that. Sometimes you see Vegas react or even overreact to that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you somebody that is you can I guess the only way to put this is, are you somebody that has to kind of be waiting by your device in order to see that, in order to make sure you're in on those moments? Or do you think it's again, sometimes overrated in terms of how much the lines might move depending on some of that late breaking news? Because we get a lot of it with these preseason
Mm-hmm.
games too, especially we're told one thing on a Saturday and then you get there Sunday and it's a different
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm always into the team Reddit, I'm in the team X
There you
spaces,
go.
communities, all of that. Like I'm really, really locked in. I'm following because I want to know what is this movement. If there's no noise, no nothing, everything is quiet for a game, and there's a 1 point line move, there's no injuries, there's no QB update, there's no nothing, and it's just this random line move. I'm like, oh, okay, that actually kind of that's intriguing. Let me look into that a little bit more. But if they're going out and they're automatically saying, oh, the starting offense is going to get a quarter and a half of work, starting offense is going to play for the whole first half, people are jumping to play that team automatically. And it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes the starting offense is trying to figure it out as well. And they're going into the game saying, all right, let's try this and see if it works. Let's try that and see if it works. And then next thing you know, turnover here, turnover there, and the other team is getting the win. So I think all of that, the line moves, all of that, the team reporting, and maybe the overreaction or underreaction, you can only take it with a grain of salt and say, okay, let me look into that more. Let me put some more analysis into that rather than just saying, oh, I see that happen. Let me bet it.
All right, let's take a look at some more strategy session here. Also, we'll talk a little bit about the preseason bets that maybe Terrell's even in on already as we're starting to unfold. But before we do, don't forget, make sure you download the Betting Pros app, whether it's iOS or Android. Download it, sync your sportsbooks for free, and you can automatically track all your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and by bet type, including game picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems and find winning trends and profitable opportunities. You can get a 7-day free trial too of Betting Pros Premium by downloading the app at bettingpros.com/apps or wherever you get your apps. You download that bad boy, use that promo code JUICE, baby. That's what you want to use. The promo code is JUICE, and activate your trial on the upgrade screen right now for Betting Pros. Okay, Terrell, let's take a look right now at some of the final strategies you have, philosophies you might have regarding this, and then some favorite bets that you're already maybe potentially looking at here in the preseason, the first couple weeks.
All right. So I talked about I look towards the under in the games where they have joint practices. That was really, really good to me last year. I felt really, really good about it. It made sound logic that, hey, okay, we're getting really, really physical here. And so a lot of the starters, a lot of the guys that play meaningful roles and are going to be on the 52-man roster might be taking it easy, might not be going as hard out. It gets to be a glorified scrimmage at that point, and you don't see a lot of points in those games. So that's one thing that really kept with me. My coach's trends, of course, but then also we just talked about the line movement. I'm not jumping immediately to jumping on a team as soon as they say the first team offense is going to be playing a quarter, a half. Like, I've done that in the past, Joe, and it hasn't worked out for me. And I've wondered, like, what's going on? Like, what do you mean? They said that they're playing the first quarter, first half, and they didn't hit. So, like, I I learned from, like, you remember how you're a kid and they're like, hey, don't touch the stove, it's hot. And it's like,
Oh, my
oh,
grandmother
okay.
used to do that to every kid when they were young. They'd say, come here,
Mm-hmm.
and she would actually take your hand and put it near the stove, so you realize it was hot. And she's like,
Yeah.
"That's hot, right? Don't touch it." And there you
Yep.
go.
Well, that's me
Old school
embedding the
Italian.
preseason. That's me embedding the preseason. I just learn from my mistakes from year after year after year. That's really what it is. I really don't think I'm any different than anybody else. I just learn from my mistakes. I realize whenever I see a report that this team is playing this offense the whole first half and the line starts moving towards that team, and I'm like, okay, let me bet that team. It has not worked out for me. I'm sorry, it just hasn't. So maybe look into it a little bit more. Do your research. Hey, what is that? What are they not seeing in practice from that first team offense that says, hey, we need to put you in a game more. We don't trust you to just go to practice, and then we got to see it in a game setting more. Maybe there's a reason that first team offense has to play more. So maybe we need to start looking the other way. And so it's different things that I like to consider, but those are the main ones.
All right. If you want full breakdowns, by the way, Terrell, myself, and Andrew Erickson here on the channel have been going through every single division, giving you our favorite win totals, our favorite division winners, our favorite bets for each division too. But just to run through real quick too, just some of these preseason bets that are again in there. Now, this is before August 1st. We haven't even really kicked off preseason quite yet. But my first take on MVP is Joe Burrow at plus 600. My first take right now, offensive player of the year for the rookie side. This one's where I struggle because I don't think Cam Ward is the clear favorite, like we've had in the past where it's always quarterbacks at the top of this award. Typically, I think it's tougher. You got Genty, you got Tet McMillan, you got Hampton. I think Tet McMillan at plus 1600 is fascinating because he could have a Brian Thomas Jr. type season. Defensive player of the year, my early look is a great value on plus 1500 for Jared Verse, who I think is ready to take that next step potentially. For AP offensive player of the year, I'm fading Barkley because it was 436 carries. That typically does not go well the next season. So I'm looking at Jamar Chase at plus 900 and Bijan Robinson plus 1600. To me, those are two really good bets. For coach of the year too, I gotta say, I'm loving Mike Vrabel. I think a plus 750, he can get to 10 wins. I think that's a terrific spot there. And then defensive rookie of the year, I kind of feel like it's going to be Abdul Carter, which is your New York Giant there. Terrell, I know we'll be doing a lot more when it comes to preseason wagers here in terms of the futures market, but so far as we're kind of starting to dip our toes in the water, any of these awards stick out to you that you want to get early before any movement might happen?
Oh, well, the Joe Burrow MVP is just after the participation trophy that Josh Allen won last year. I am so locked into now. We're just passing the participation trophy along, and they wanted to give it to Joe so bad last year too. They were begging that Bengals defense, please, please, just get a stop and get some wins so we can give it to them, please. And
Nope.
so now they're. I mean, it's hard to be as bad as they were last year. So if the defense improves at all, any little bit, I think the offense is still going to be rolling. And yeah, they're going to give it to Joe if he just has the wins to go along with it. And I think they will. So it's for sure Joe Burrow. Like, honestly, truly, I get to dabbling and like doing my long shots at normal, but then I just keep going back to they really just gave Josh Allen the participation trophy last year. And it
He
just
played pretty good. I mean, come
dude,
on.
he was
He
second
played pretty
team
well.
all pro. How do you
Did
vote him
Lamar,
second team all
I
pro
agree
and
with
give
you.
him MVP?
My vote, if I had one, which I don't, would have been Lamar easy. And my second vote might have been Derrick Henry. But
Oh man, I mean,
I will turn around and say that, hey, look, it's always a quarterback award at this point. But as you said, everybody kind of gets a turn here with the MVP, and I just feel like it's Joe Burrow.
It's so Joe Burrow.
And it plays right into my whole narrative too, because the MVP never wins a Super Bowl, and I don't think the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl with that defense. Yep. And I think the Ravens might finally get that ring for Lamar. But what do you think? Drop your comments below. What are your who's your MVP? Let's do that. Who is your MVP prediction here? Drop it in the chat below. Was it a participation trophy last year for Josh Allen? Ooh, I can feel all those Buffalo Bills fans in the comments already. Drop them below, subscribe to the channel, like this video too, and be with us here at Betting Pros for all of your NFL wagering. That'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Terrell, Furman Jr., I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.